Hello and welcome to Beaver Offroad on YouTube. My name is Scott. I'm the owner and founder of Beaver Offroad LLC. I'm here today to show you about the Beaver Offroad Walker Evans Racing coilover piggyback shocks I developed for the Sand Reaper that is behind me. This is one of the shocks right here, and I'll give a quick rundown of what the shock is and the construction, and then I'm going to do along with this a quick video of how to mount the shocks on the machine and how simple it really is. So for starters, we'll show you what the shock is and what's contained in the kit if you were to buy this kit from Beaver Offroad. Starting out, you can see I have my hand before me one of the coilover shocks. It is a 2-inch bodied, 2-inch aluminum bodied coilover shock. Piggyback reservoir has adjustments for your firm ride, softer or firmer. You have your preload adjustments that you can preload your spring tension to set it up. When you order these from Beaver Offroad, they will come preset to a pretty good running position. You may have to adjust them a 1/4 inch or so one way or the other for your preference in ride. And also when you check them or when you get them new, you'd want to start out with the knob in the softest setting. Adjust it to your ride preference in the soft setting first, and that way you always have the ability to firm up your ride as you get into trails, if you want a little bit firmer ride, or if you're on the road and you want a little less body roll. Starting out with the shock, you can see it's all aluminum construction. These are emulsion filled, nitrogen charged. They have bearing eyelets in each end for smooth operation as the shocks float around. Your adjustment is this collar with a series of holes, and you can use either a spanner wrench, or I found that also oil filter wrenches, the pliers style, will fit around that and can also use this to adjust its also. The kit also comes with misalignment spacers, which allows you to use your stock mounting bolts off your Reaper, and these will just fit into each eyelet. And they're a brass bushing that fits inside there. Has a small collar, fit right inside there. And that's basically all there is to the shock. You can see there's a rubber bump stop, which you do not have on the stock units. So when you go into full compression, you're not going to feel that shock just bottom out in a hard hit. You're going to feel it float down a little bit softer. The fact that they are emulsion filled gives them a little slower reaction time. So your suspension isn't reacting so fast, and it's not throwing your machine up, or your tires aren't lifting off the ground when you pass over a hole. That little slower reaction time allows your tires to stay into the hole and maintain traction to the ground on your way up. That would be the front shot. This is the rear shot. We've worked hard to figure out what was the best spring rate to work in combination in front and back with the whole machine, and your stock configuration and weight. Now I have done testing with this machine with these shocks on here, and I have driven around and made adjustments with as much as 150 pounds loaded in the back of this, and these shocks still, I was able to adjust the body roll to tighten that up, and also the compression and rebound, and still work with 150 pounds mounted on the back. Now if you're someone who's going to be mounting large racks or carrying a lot of stuff and going out on week-long trips in the desert, we can or have the ability to change this spring rate to accommodate your riding style and what you're going to be doing with your machine. But you'll find that for the most part, the stock spring rates are going to do most everything you're going to do. And like I said, I've carried 150 pounds on this machine, and I've gone on road and trail riding, and it still performed very well. So you can see what the kit comes with would be 2 front shocks, 2 rear shocks. Of course, you get all your misalignment spacers, so you can use your stock mounting bolts. Also, what the kit comes with is 2 new upper control arms. You can see they come with all new bushings, new collars. Your greasers are already in place. So pretty much what you're going to do is you're just going to unbolt the old one, and you're going to bolt this one onto the machine. It has your clip for your brake line, just like a stock. This basically is copied right off from stock. The biggest difference in this is that this radius has been opened up from a stock arm to allow for that 2-inch shock to fit with inside. Clearance is very tight, and with that radius you still have the strength that you need. There's been hours and hours and hours of testing to make sure that the change in that radius isn't doing anything to change the performance of or the movement of the suspension. The other thing that I've done is that you have your center mounting spot for your upper tire rod. And the stock unit is threaded, so if you want to adjust your camber on your machine, you have to remove your upper control arm and or your upper tie rod, and you'd have to spin that out. What I've done is these have been drilled out to remove that thread for the upper tie rod. So now once this is mounted, you can actually adjust your camber by just adjusting the bolts on top, and the whole thing will slide back and forth, and you're not having to unbolt your whole upper control arm and slide that and turn it, and spin it out to make your adjustment. So it's just going to make that a lot easier, and it's also going to make the installation a lot easier. So that's pretty much what the shock package entails. So it's pretty simple. You're going to get 2 upper control arms, you'll get 4 shocks, 2 rear, 2 front, your complete set of misalignment spacers, so you'll be able to use your stock mounting bolts. Also, you'll be using your stock mounting bolts for the suspension, since these are stock specification bushings and collars inside.